You know, and this, you know, there were, the other thing that was, the initial complaints that came in here, and I'm glad to hear that everybody's offered seconds, is that the rations were state minimum. They went from whatever they were serving before to state minimum. Well, you can comply with the state's requirements, but that's not really taking care of the seniors.
Well, that has increased.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I got an answer to that, because the cook before these two, she spent a lot of her own money,
Yes.
Yeah.
Out of her own pocket.
You bet.
out of her own pocket, making them meals.
Okay, well, let's, so that everybody hears this will be like the 10th time we've said it. If you're cutting back on rations because of money, talk to us and we might be able to help you with money,
Once the audit is done.
once the audit is done. I mean, we wanna support the seniors, and our only vote is with our money. We don't have any control over this board. The only thing we can do is say if we're
Hey,
unsatisfied,
you could come in and have lunch.
well, I've actually got it, but, that's my point is, that's where we're at, and you guys coming in here, I think is great, because let's continue the dialogue I know, but you are gonna have to satisfy area two. Because we can't give them money that they in turn then say, we are not gonna give you guys money. They have to be supportive of you before we're gonna.
Have you always sent the money up to Area 2 and
That's my understanding.
That was my understanding. I've not received it from you before because I wasn't doing the books at the time, so.
In the past, we had trouble when the state wouldn't get the money from the federal government, and I had quite the conversations with the federal government over that. And then that could always be an issue too, that the state don't send the money down as they should, but I do wanna mention that we had one individual, and she's standing right there, that ponied up over $7,000 of her own money, and I know you wanna keep it secret, but I don't think it's fair that we have to have a senior do that to match in order to get the food for our other seniors.
Okay, well,
I
that's
matched yours.
Did you?
well taken, but we can't release the money till area two is satisfied.
It sounds like you got a board that's wanting to do the right thing, so I think.
That's, I'm really encouraged, I'm encouraged about a lot of it.
And another
Has
thing,
anybody quizzed the seniors either?
Yeah, we did yesterday. We had a big entire.
That was really good to get their results.
Well, we actually did do a survey. We got all those information. Betty Ross, I thought, had relayed that to you guys.
Well, maybe I've just been out of the loop, but,
Yeah.
you know, again, all of this is about taking care of the seniors.
and it wouldn't be bad if you guys stopped in and visited every once in a while with the commissioners, you know? You don't have to.
That's our
Yeah.
fourth
But-
commissioner.
Communication, what?
Your fourth time? Well, we've had this conversation before, but we haven't seen any movement.
Yeah, we had that board in, 2 months ago, and they
Yeah.
sat right here and said, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. and
So
nothing
basically,
happened.
the issue's the auditing, is that the big holdup?
It's a biggest issue, but also, we need to talk and be satisfied. The seniors they're coming back, they're feeling like they're getting good food, they're getting good quality. That whole place is supposed to be a hub, sort of an anchor for people to get out and engage in the
Yeah.
community. And there was a time when attendance was way down, according to the feedback we were getting, that it was way down. That's when they were coming in crying about it. And the Meals on Wheels people were really upset that they were not getting, and really what it was is they said they used to get enough to feed them for 2 days, now they're only getting 1 day. We only have to give them 1 day. But, are we gonna do the minimum, or are we gonna do, you know?
Did you get to read the letter that I wrote? Did they share the letter with you that I wrote and handed to them last time we had our meeting?
Yes.
And it
Yes.
explains about what happened with those meals, that she was supposed to not have let the seniors know that we went to 5 days. Our board, now we're new, we don't know anything about that, but in the minutes, the board that was over her told her, we don't want you to call these people, we want you to send a flyer to them, cause then they can look at this and see that we have 5 meals to the people on Meals of Wheels.
Okay.
She sent those all. So if those people don't take advantage of it, why is she blamed? See, that's Area 2's thing, that they had over us for a number of years, or number of months or whatever, and then I found out that she didn't take the board. If you're mad at somebody or wanna, whatever, the board that was over her at the time, which is not there anymore, is the ones you get after, not her and not the board now. That's taken care of.
Well, I appreciate that, but I really think that you guys need to have I guess, a communication with Area 2, but it's not just Marcy, it's their board. Marcy's,
I just this week got the names of their board.
yeah.
Just this week, I got all their names, so, and I'm,
So it kind of, they're above her. I mean, you know, they're the ones that are saying they're not releasing the money.
Sure you do.
I would like to know the board.
I have
would
the
like
list.
to, yeah. Do you happen to have my letter with you?
it's out in the car.
I'd like to add
Is
one
this
more
it?
thing.
Thank you,
That's your
Not
latest one,
That explains a lot of stuff.
that's your latest letter.
I got it here.
Go ahead.
I would say, that having delivered Meals on Wheels for a long time, I think they need to increase the amount that they do on Meals on Wheels.
Okay.
Because really, my husband got one yesterday, and there wasn't that much in there.
No.
You know, but, I cook, but there's a lot, they rely on that meal.
That's what
And
we're,
that
yeah.
amount needs to be increased, And, my experiences at the senior center have been very good. We laugh, we heckle with each other, there's a commonality that we enjoy that we can't get any other way, That's why I go, is because I have fun heckling, and they love to heckle me. But there's a community there, and we all value each other, and we all give something special to make that center as it is. And Tracy and the staff go way out of their way to make it that way. I know with Tracy and I, she helped me steer me into a situation. I was injured, and she showed me where to go to get that taken care of. One doctor alone cost me $43,000 if I'd have had to pay it out of Blue Cross and Medicare.
Mhm.
So she showed me an agency to go to get it taken care of. And I am grateful for that, because who's out $43,000? That was one doctor. That wasn't the orthopedic surgeon. That wasn't the physical therapy. So that was one thing that I saw that she did for our community, that she makes available, Like I say, I'm here, we've got a lot invested in now, Senator.
I
That's
haven't
right.
cleared that with the board yet, but that's just my opinion.
And I appreciate your listening to me.
Make sure.
Thank you.
Like I said, we really appreciate you, this show of support and,
That's what we're here for each other.
yeah. But you now hopefully have a better, kind of what this is, there's a technical aspect to this, and then there's an abstract aspect to this. And what I mean by that is taking care of the seniors.
Yeah.
Is that place a hub where people wanna go to? Is it serving its function? And this commission will support that.
Yeah, and you do well. But we're dealing with different personalities too. We kind of step back and not let each personality kind of rule the roost, so to speak, I mean, we all have our own opinion, we always have our own dislikes, but we've got to find a commonality to come together, because otherwise we let that person, this group or whatever leads off the track. We're not gonna have the unity we need and the support.
And we understand, performance isn't perfection,
Right, no.
but we were headed in the wrong
But
direction.
a lot of people out there that come to the center, rely on the situation, the facility, don't stop to think of what goes into that
Sure.
and how they can help support it. They're out there griping and complaining, but get in there and get involved, So that's kind of how I
Well,
feel.
and anytime there's a change, people need to step forward and help instead of
talk, yeah.
complain and then just run the other direction. That doesn't help the situation. That doesn't help them improve, because we know it can be good. And I feel like a person there. I am greeted every time I come by somebody on the staff. I am acknowledged when I leave by somebody on the
Yeah,
staff.
yeah.
That never happened before.
Yeah. We love to heckle each other,
Ma'am, can I have
even
your
the staff.
name? Ma'am, can I have your name?
Carol McCaffrey.
Well, I'm sure the board, if we have to get an audit, we will get together and we will agree to do an audit.
Yes.
And then because of that, I would be nice if you would give us the benefit of the doubt and go ahead and fund us this year with the stipulation that we need to make things right. So that's my opinion.
And ma'am, can I have your name?
Sherry
Am I?
Stiles.
Sherry Stiles.
I know everybody else.
I'd get in contact with Area 2 Council on Aging as fast as you can.
Aging area.
Well, they've been going through a lot up in their own office.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I got Wes, our big deal, he started back here when we had the shake-up a year ago or so, but Mike, the two Mikes used to come over there and eat
Yeah.
fairly regular. And since that shake-up, they haven't been there.
Yeah.
Now, like,
We should go.
you should go, yeah.
We'll buy you guys
And
lunch.
I know why you're
one time.
not, but
I always would like to go over there.
Yeah.
But we get tangled in all kinds
Yeah,
of.
well, I agree with you, you know, that can't always be, but
We're not old enough to go.
Oh, yeah, right.
But you could manage one day a month, I'm sure, to make that.
We'll ask you into the kitchen.
We'll even send you a menu.
We'll let you do dishes for your meal.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like that.
Of course, you
talk
need
to
more
Ashley,
time
she
than we
can
need
double
more
up the
time.
serving for you.
Okay. Special treatment, that's what we need.
All right, so we are off schedule.
All right, well, we really appreciate the input.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you all.
Let's keep talking, maybe
Sounds
come
like
in
we're
next
on the right
week too,
direction.
let's just keep
Keep
talking.
talking.
Can I have this?
That's yours.
Okay. All right,
You need some more paperwork, you know.
volumes of text.
Come on, Walt.
All right, what are we on now?
I assume we're finished. Are we all done?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
entirely up to you guys. We appreciate you coming in.
Well, come down, we can help you, okay? I suppose.
Well, you take
Enjoy
care.
each other.
She's up.
Because they're the ones that,
Dave's got
they
her.
are the state agency that's over.
Thank you. Governing others not easy, is it?
They give them money, and we give them match funds.
Whatever the issue is, you can sort it out with them.
Because they're the ones that are monitoring. Yeah, they monitor compliance.
You're supposed to take some money, not just raise it.
That's a Friday.
All right, I'll see you. Let you go.
It's area 2.
Well, I'm pointing Cheryl and I'm pointing
Agent,
Betty.
agency on aging.
Thank you, neighbor.
Keep driving this.
Bob, it's area 2 agency.
Area 2, area 2 agency.
He's telling you who the state is.
Sorry.
I want to know who the state is.
The what?
The state.
Oh,
Area 2 agency on aging.
Area 2 agent, area 2, area
thank you for
agency
being
on
here and
aging.
your information.
Is the state.
Is the state.
Oh, Ned.
Just learn.
There you go, you understand
All
the
right,
structure.
good. You need a hand to get back down the stairs, or you got it?
I get it.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, what's our next movement? And any comment online?
Yeah, I'm on there.
All right, and hearing none, okay, well, I'm gonna send you one. Go ahead.
Hey, this is Marcy.
Yeah, Marcy,
So we just watched that.
okay.
We need to just remember the core issue from Area 2 is they can set aside what they're saying with compliance.
Okay.
When they talk about meals and they talk about the programs, the core issue remains. They are not broke because they are not receiving funding from Area 2. They are not broke because they are not receiving Muscle County Council on Aging's funding. They are broke due to complete mismanagement of the program over the past year. Again, they spent the $100,000 that was in the bank account, that has been 50 years of buildup from previous directors. That is gone, along with all of the money. They have received every payment from Area 2 up until May. If I look at our accounting right now, that is almost $79,000, plus every bit of their project income, which is the revenues they are bringing in from their transportation, congregate meals, and home delivered meals programs. Therein lies the issue. So again, if we take names out of it, Area 2 is not satisfied, not because of the amount of food in a meal.
Right.
It is due to the fact the program has been completely mismanaged over the past year by director and board. They do not have a full board, full functioning board. It is consistently changing. They do not have proper policies and procedures in place to maintain these programs.
Okay.
And there is the problem, not who's getting served, how many are getting served, how much food is in that container. It comes down to the business side of
That's
it.
what I
Take
said, it's the
everything
money.
else out.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
no,
And
Marcy, can you write all that
the commissioners did
down?
not spend that money, Area 2 did not spend that money. So when you are receiving state and federal, and then I'm gonna throw you guys in there as far as county funds, we expect accountability and proper management of the programs with that funding. There has not been proper management. Now they're at a place where even if we continue to fund them, they cannot continue at a level with programs due to gross mismanagement. And so all of the drama that continues to be talked about and said, all of the drama that just went down in that meeting is just that, it is just the drama. Area 2 brings it back to the black and white of the mismanagement of the funding. So we will ask for an audit, you have asked for an audit, and we cannot move forward with what is currently in place for their business structure.
all right, that's good.
That's great.
Maybe that should have been said while they were here, but
Yeah.
what I would like to say, Marcy, is we agree with all of that, but we actually have another concern. It has to do with the quality of the product they're delivering.
Well, yeah.
And so,
Absolutely.
you know, that's why I said there's a technical side where you comply, and then there's the side where are you really helping the seniors? And so, but if they can't do either one, we're not satisfied.
Right.
Right. I'm in agreement, Bob, absolute agreement, but we've worked on compliance and it has not been compliant. Everything that was just that, a lot of what was said right there in that meeting as fact is a twist on the fact of what reality did happen. And so that's why Area 2 chooses, before we can even talk compliance any further, is the business model right now is not cohesive with what we need in order to contract state and federal dollars in there.
Okay, now, I think, you know, they're gonna be getting in touch with you, and I'm just gonna
I'm
state
sure.
the obvious, you guys just need to be prepared to make
That argument.
to really zero in on that specific, to be concise, because what you just spewed out, excuse my language for using that, was excellent. It'd be nice to have that on a piece of paper or something.
That's what I'm saying, write all that down.
That is what is coming, but you have to remember, I juggle a lot and I answer to other people as well.
Okay,
And so that is exactly what is coming down the pike. And then I just wanted to clarify as well, because this was part of your discussion, the county's money does not come to Area 2. So that match money is split between an administrative match, which you guys did release to Area 2, and that is just a match that you pay us. The program match those checks have always and continue to be sent directly to the Council on Aging. Those do not come to Area 2 for us to distribute. So I just wanted to clarify that because.
Well, that's a good clarification. It doesn't really change anything, it doesn't, but it's a procedural clarification that we'll just leave to let them know that we send them the check directly, but we're not sending it till they satisfy you guys.
Marcy,
Right, well, they have felt like we're holding the money that you gave it to us.
Well, we'll make that clear
We're
then.
not, so,
Yeah, good point, okay.
have you been able to provide what you just said in writing to this
Council on Aging?
this Council on Aging?
No, that's the letter that I'm working on, and then I have to get approval, before it goes out.
Right, okay. Well, it needs to go
And
out.
that- What's that?
It needs to go out, so we
It
know
does,
what they're
I'm
looking
working
at.
on it,
Yeah, but you realize from what you just heard there is they are absolutely convinced that they have complied with every concern you've ever let them know.
And they haven't, so the letter that they're talking about was not, they're misconstruing that, and I asked, why did Tracy answer this letter? So the board came to me a while back and said, hey, we're thinking about, because we're out of money, going back to 3 days a week serving meals. What do we need to do that? That is what that letter was addressing, and it even says that this is in regards to requests, and this is what needs to be done. And I gave them samples of how, options that they could do to carry things out. Why that was given to Tracy, if it was to reply to, there was no question and reply. It was just, okay, if you're gonna back to 3 meals a week, you need to give Area 2 a written plan, how you're gonna serve these people, what you're gonna do. I would be happy to send you a copy of that letter, but that was
Could you please?
completely
Please do.
misused. What was that?
Could you
send a
please?
copy.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, so the drama that has been brought into this, they are taking facts and twisting those facts into really weird ways.
well, honestly, and the reason I think they are, Marcy, is because they don't understand, they don't really know
Where they're at.
what they're doing wrong, what they need to do. Mainly probably because the board has shifted so many times and
Exactly.
they're getting so much information. They didn't even know why we're holding on, not paying them, even though Mike's been to 3 meetings and told them they needed an audit. So, I think they really do feel like they're being, unfairly treated.
Right.
I don't think they're lying to us, I think they believe that.
I believe that these board members think that because they haven't been down the journey that the rest of us have been.
Right.
And so they are trusting and believing in the word of mouth telephone line that they are hearing. When we have written facts, I have documentation, but those individuals don't want to come up and talk to Area 2, or like I said, they misconstrue the information that they do have. And so every time a board member does come up and talks to me or to us, and we educate them on the program, educate them on the funding, and it's a basis education, not anything directly about Council on Aging. It's about the programs overall, how they're supposed to be carried out and what those funding sources are. Every time we get someone educated on this and they go back to a board meeting, suddenly give it a month or 2 and they're off the board. Because the other individuals fight them on the truths and the facts of what is supposed to be happening. So I very much believe that those individuals in that room, outside of maybe 1 or 2, believe they're being wrongly treated. The others continue to sell a narrative of being a victim, and now it's the whole program being a victim, because it's been gross mismanaged. And they have, again, declined every effort that I have given, opportunity given to train the board, to train on the programs, they deny, and will not participate. So they're aware. I mean, I hear what you're saying and I agree with some of that. But again, Area 2 has, you're sitting there saying, Mike goes to the meetings, I know you guys have gone to the meetings, we've done everything we can to educate, and some people just don't want to be helped. And I can't continue to educate a different board every month.
Well, you know what, I think, I'm with you, but this is just my own personal opinion, but I think your business case concerns are factual. I mean, there's no opinion in that, it's just black and white. Those are the issues that I think, because the rest of this stuff they can argue about.
That's what we're hung on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are, and that's why we're looking for some.
We're gonna follow
We
your
need a-
lead.
We need a letter, we need something in writing from which to base our,
But the bottom line is, we have no control over that board. It's just.
No, we can only
all we
control
do
whether
is
we release the
control
funds or
money.
not. And right now, they're saying, why won't you release the funds? Because all of these concerns had to do with board members and people that were in the past. And I just don't think that's true necessarily in terms of their business case. So, and that's why I think that's really important, Marcy, is to say, well, this all occurred within the last year or so. So,
A year and a half.
year and a half,
So
so.
they had a whole year to work on this, but they just
Right.
ignored it.
Exactly.
Didn't go to any of the
every
trainings, didn't do anything like that. Them board trainings are very important, so. But whatever.
Okay.
All right, well, I think really appreciate you listening in and kind of clarifying it at the end, but they need to know that. I mean, and I know you say you've told them, and that's great, and I don't mean to go in a circular discussion here, but that's, cause they're gonna be coming to you, and
I'm
it'd be
sure.
better they come to the board, not just you.
I expect they're gonna go to Red Lodge too, so,
To Lewistown?
yeah, Lewistown,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Lewistown.
They should come to Lewistown. It should not be to create chaos, but they should come for the knowledge that is discussed.
I think they really wanna go and make a case and figure out exactly what they need to do to make you happy, so they can get their money from you and us. And that may not be possible, okay? But,
They're running out of time.
yeah,
Simple as that.
but I don't think they should just come to you, I think the board, that's my opinion, I think your board needs to address
Yeah.
it. All right,
Okay.
Okay, well, nice hearing from
really
you.
appreciate it, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
You take care.
last call,
Thank you.
last call for public comment, is there any other public comment?
Yeah, we ran right into cash.
Hearing none. Public comment is closed.
Are we gonna do our business?
I knew something was gonna happen today that was gonna make me have to exercise restraint.
I knew when I walked across the street, I'm like, oh no.
I really wanted to call in sick today, but it's just me and Charlie, so I couldn't.
It's Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah.
That's
For
right.
what it's worth, I got your sheet on the labor hours.
Yeah,
That's perfect, but we need one for every one of those.
I know, I've started.
That is
That's the
excellent.
first one I was thinking about because I met with Sean, and so I was like, all right, it was the end of the day, so I was like, I'm gonna complete this one and then I'll continue on.
Well, and actually, maybe I can take that and say, Sean, this is what we were planning on revising your thing too. Because I got more hours than that, but not a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we did sign
do you have the letters from
There was no signature.
Mike or from Bob?
What's
A
that?
signature.
What was the letter
What?
that?
I don't have them. He has
I
them.
can sign it again, but I'm sure I gave it back.
No, because it was only a letter and we wanted a signature letter, and I thought I printed it out.
The letter that Bob just gave,
Yeah, his opinion.
I wanted to see what he had to say.
I was gonna-
'Cause I already read, I read,
He's laying the groundwork for somebody else to.
I think, did he even sign the damn, yeah, well, he didn't sign it, he just.
Nah. She's got them all hoodwinked. It's all Brenda's problem.
Of course.
Yeah, when in doubt, blame the previous person.
I'll try to ask Brenda if they had an audit in those years. I have no idea. We never seen one. But everything was running along pretty smoothly,
Oh, very smooth.
and
It
that
was a
cash
happy
in the
place.
drawer keeps growing every time I hear it.
Happy place.